Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Beauty of Language. I hope all of you are doing well, right? So today I'm going to give you an overall summary of all that happened in Act 5, all the scenes, that is from scene 1 to scene 8. So one of the acts which has so many scenes. So the video is going to be a bit long after all. Again, as I said, 8 scenes, okay? But I have made this video keeping your attention span in mind. So I have prepared this in such a way that you get the idea of all that happened in a particular scene. So when I was in 12th, we had the same drama back then, almost 16 years ago. And with a teaching experience of about 12 years, both ICSE and CBSE students, so I know what kind of questions are asked in the exam. Now in this video, I'm also going to discuss the questions that were asked last year in boards, that is in 2025, and those that can be asked. Okay, see, drama alone, as you know, it will help you to get around 32 marks. So अच्छे से prepare कर लो, 30 marks चाहिए कि नहीं? And being an ICC student, you know how important the character sketches are from the drama. So I have uploaded the character sketches of important characters in the shorts on my channel. Do check them out. If you want the character sketch of any more characters, do let me know in the comment section. Also, the detailed explanations of the poems in the IAC syllabus Rhapsody have also been uploaded. Dekh lena. And if you are new here, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel. For notes of Macbeth, visit my website beautyoflanguage.in, where you will find the suggestions for all the type of questions that can be asked in the exam, because discussing all of them here is not possible. And one more thing to tell you, that I have deliberately used some specific words and phrases in the explanation so that you can use them directly in your words. Okay, it is always gonna be helpful for you all in getting marks. And in case you don't understand the meaning anywhere, then please comment below. I don't want my lovely students to go without understanding what I have explained. Now let's get started. So a quick recap of all that happened before Act 5, Scene 1. So before Act 5, Scene 1, Macbeth has become a very ruthless tyrant. He has ordered the murder of Banquo and Macbeth's family because he believes that violence will secure his throne. Now while Macbeth grows more brutal and confident in the prophecies of the witches, Lady Macbeth's role, it has been changed. Earlier she was the driving force, the mastermind behind Duncan's murder. But now she's completely isolated, guilty and mentally disturbed. So the weight of their crimes has now begun to affect her very deeply, even though she once appeared fearless and strong. Now, starting the summary of Act 5, Scene 1. So this scene, it takes place at night inside the castle. A doctor and a woman observe Lady Macbeth as she sleepwalks. So she enters holding a candle, which shows her fear of darkness and guilt. Now this is a sharp contrast to the confidence she had earlier during Duncan's murder. While sleepwalking, she begins to speak very loudly and unknowingly revealing her inner thoughts, because you don't know what you're doing when you are sleepwalking. So Lady Macbeth repeatedly, she rubs her hands, imagining that they are stained with blood. She cries out, "Damn spot!" Now this shows her obsession with washing away her guilt. So she mentions that Duncan's murder, Banquo's death and killing of Lady Macduff, it proves that all these crimes are now haunting her mind. These secrets, which were once hidden very carefully, are now spilling out uncontrollably. So the doctor realizes that Lady Macbeth is suffering from mental illness, which is caused by guilt, not a physical disease. He says that medicine cannot cure her. Only repentance or divine forgiveness can help. Repentance, you understand, no? Paschatap. That is sincere regret, remorse. So the woman is shocked. The woman which had come along with the doctor, she's shocked to see all of this, and she's afraid, knowing that Lady Macbeth has seen, she has witnessed dangerous truths. Okay, by the end of the scene, Lady Macbeth leaves. She is still trapped in her disturbed state. The doctor warns that she needs constant care and there are chances that she may harm herself. So this scene is crucial because this shows the complete reversal of Lady Macbeth's character. The woman who once made fun of Macbeth's fear is now broken by guilt. It highlights one of the central ideas of the play, that guilt cannot be escaped. So while Macbeth tries to silence his conscience through violence, Lady Macbeth is destroyed by the memory of their sins. In Boards 2025, there was a 5 marks question asked, that what secret does Lady Macbeth reveal as she walks in her sleep in Act 5, Scene 1? What changes do you notice in her from the banquet scene in Act 3? So that was all about Act 5, Scene 1. Now moving ahead to Act 5, Scene 2. So this short but very important scene, it takes place near Birnam Wood. A group of Scottish lords, including Menteith, Caithness, Angus and Lennox, is moving to join Malcolm's army. So their conversation clearly shows that Macbeth has lost the loyalty of his own people. The lords, they openly criticize Macbeth, calling him a tyrant rather than a king. They say that he is surrounded by soldiers who obey him out of fear, not loyalty. So his crimes, especially the murder of Duncan and Macduff's family, have isolated him completely. Although Macbeth is still wearing the crown, but he no longer has respect or trust. The lords discuss Macbeth's mental state. They say that he is unstable and suffering from guilt and paranoia, that is mistrust and suspicion. So they also mention that Lady Macbeth is not well, which is hinting at her mental breakdown shown in the previous scene just now, which we discussed. So this reinforces, this strengthens the idea that both Macbeth and his wife are now paying the psychological price of their crimes. So the scene ends with the lords deciding to march toward Birnam Wood to unite with Malcolm and English forces. So their goal is clear: to overthrow Macbeth and free Scotland from tyranny. So though the scene is very short, but it is important because it shows the political consequences of Macbeth's actions. So Shakespeare, he makes it clear that power gained through violence cannot last. So Macbeth may still be king in his name, but in reality, he stands alone, abandoned by his people and surrounded by his enemies. So that was all about Act 5, Scene 2. Moving ahead to Act 5, Scene 3. So this scene, it takes place inside Dunsinane Castle. Macbeth looks very restless. He is disturbed. Yet, he shows himself to be confident. He gives orders to prepare for battle, but speaks with arrogance. And where is this arrogance coming from? From the prophecy of the witches. He claims that no enemy can defeat him. He believes himself to be almost invincible. So when a servant reports that 10,000 soldiers are approaching, Macbeth reacts with anger rather than fear. He insults the servant and repeats that no man born of a woman can harm him. So this shows how completely he depends on the witch's words instead of reality. Now, at this moment, a doctor enters and informs Macbeth that Lady Macbeth is very seriously ill and mentally disturbed. Now, as a husband, instead of showing concern or sympathy, Macbeth responds very impatiently. He asks the doctor to cure her. But when he tells him that her illness is beyond medical help, he becomes frustrated. So this reveals how far Macbeth has emotionally detached himself from his wife and from humanity itself. Now, in this context, there was 1 mark question asked in Boards 2025 that in Act 5, Scene 1 of the play Macbeth, the doctor says that this disease is beyond my practice. Why did he say that? Because Lady Macbeth's illness is related to her mind and conscience. It is caused by guilt and mental disturbance, not by physical disease that a doctor can cure. Despite the growing threat, Macbeth orders his servants to bring him his armor, even though the battle has not yet begun. His behavior, it reflects inner panic, which is masked by forced confidence. He talks about life as empty and meaningless. So the scene, it ends with Macbeth preparing for war, holding on blindly to the witch's prophecies. So Shakespeare, he presents him as a very tragic figure, bold on the outside but deeply insecure inside. So this scene highlights Macbeth's fatal flaw. What is it? It is his overconfidence in fate and prophecy, which prevents him from seeing the danger clearly and leads him toward his final downfall. That was all about Act 5, Scene 3. Now moving to the summary of Act 5, Scene 4. So this scene takes place near Birnam Wood. Malcolm, Seward and Macduff discuss their military strategy as they prepare to attack Macbeth's castle. So Malcolm gives a clever command to his soldiers. And what was that command? That each man should cut down a branch from the Birnam Wood and carry it in front of him as they march. So what was the purpose of this plan? It was to hide the true size of their army from Macbeth's scouts. Scouts, a soldier or other person sent out ahead of a main force so as to gather information about the enemy's position, strength or movements. So by covering themselves with branches, the soldiers will appear fewer in number, giving them a very strategic advantage. So this simple military tactic has a very powerful and dramatic effect. Without realizing it, Malcolm's army began to fulfill the witch's prophecy that Birnam Wood will move toward Dunsinane Hill. So what once sounded impossible is now becoming a reality, not through magic but through human action and intelligence. So this scene is short but significant. It marks the moment when fate starts turning decisively against Macbeth. So that was all about Act 5, Scene 4. Moving ahead to Act 5, Scene 5. So this scene takes place near Dunsinane Castle. Macbeth hears a cry from within the castle and is told that Lady Macbeth is dead. So on hearing this, his reaction is very cold and weary. Weary means exhausted rather than emotional. He reflects that she would have died sooner or later anyway. So this moment, it shows how emotionally numb Macbeth has become after so much of violence. So Macbeth then delivers his famous tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow speech. In this speech, he describes that life is completely meaningless, repetitive and empty. So he compares life to a shadow and a poor actor who performs on stage for a moment and then disappears. So this reveals that Macbeth's deep despair and loss of purpose. Okay, ambition has brought him power but no happiness. Soon after, a messenger brings shocking news. And what was that news? That Birnam Wood appears to be moving toward Dunsinane. At first, Macbeth is furious and disbelief strikes him. Then fear begins to creep in as he realizes that the witch's prophecy is coming true. For the first time, his confidence in the prophecies, it starts to crack, it starts to shake. So in this context, there was an MCQ asked in 2025 that in Act 5, Scene 5 of the play Macbeth, what is Macbeth's first reaction when the messenger informs him that the wood began to move? These are all the options. So what was the correct answer? So the correct answer is he disbelieves the messenger and calls him a liar, and you know the reason, right? So despite this, Macbeth decides to fight to the end. Even though he senses his downfall is near, he refuses to surrender. He resolves to face his enemies in battle rather than die without resistance. Okay, resistance means without fight. So this scene is crucial because it marks Macbeth's emotional collapse and the collapse of his faith in the witches. So by the end of the scene, Macbeth is no longer driven by hope or by ambition. He is driven only by desperation and confrontation. That is all about Act 5, Scene 5. Moving ahead to Act 5, Scene 6. In this very short scene, it takes place outside Dunsinane Castle. Malcolm, Seward and Macduff give final instructions to their soldiers before the battle begins. Okay, Malcolm orders the army to drop the branches they have been carrying and prepare for open fight. So the leaders, they encourage their men to fight bravely and confidently. So the English and Scottish forces are united with a clear purpose, that is to defeat Macbeth and to free Scotland from tyranny. Unlike Macbeth's army, which is held together by fear, Malcolm's forces are motivated by justice and loyalty. So although short, this scene is important because it marks the official beginning of the final battle. It shows that the moment of action has arrived after all the planning and tension. So the witch's prophecy has now fully turned against Macbeth and there is no escape left for him. So at 5 scene 6, it serves as a transition scene, moving the play from psychological conflict to physical confrontation. That was all about Act 5 Scene 6. Moving ahead to Act 5 Scene 7. So this scene takes place on the battlefield. Macbeth appears fighting bravely and violently, killing young Siward in combat. Combat, you understand, no? In fight. When Siward's son challenges him, Macbeth confidently kills him, believing once again that prophecies protect him from death. Macbeth boasts that he cannot be killed by any man born of a woman. Meanwhile, Macduff enters the battlefield, searching desperately for Macbeth. So unlike others, Macduff is driven not by ambition but by justice and revenge for the murder of his wife and children. He refuses to fight anyone else until he finds Macbeth. So somewhere else in the battle, Malcolm and old Siward discuss the progress of the fight. They come to know that young Siward has died bravely in the fight. So Siward reacts with controlled pride rather than grief, saying that his son died honorably like any true soldier. So the scene ends with tension rising as Macbeth and Macduff move closer to their final confrontation. So this scene is important because it highlights Macbeth's tragic courage and fatal flaw at the same time. He fights fearlessly yet blindly trusts the witches. Moving ahead to Act 5 Scene 8, last scene. So this final scene of the play takes place on the battlefield. Macbeth and Macduff, they finally meet face to face. Macbeth, he boasts confidently, declaring that he cannot be killed by any man born of a woman. He warns Macduff to stay away because he believes that the prophecy, it still protects him. So Macduff then reveals the crucial truth that he was not born of a woman in the natural way but was delivered by C-section, cesarean section. He was from his mother's womb untimely ripped. So this revelation, it completely destroys Macbeth's confidence. For the first time, he realizes that the witches deceived him. उन्होंने उसे धोखा दिया by using misleading language. So Macbeth thinks for a short moment that surrendering and imagines the humiliation of being shown as a captured tyrant. However, his pride and courage as a warrior, it takes over. He refuses to give up and decides to fight till the end rather than live with shame. So Macbeth and Macduff fight and Macduff, he kills Macbeth. So with Macbeth's death, the tyranny that haunted Scotland, it comes to an end and Macduff returns carrying Macbeth's severed head and presents it to Malcolm. Malcolm is hailed as the new king of Scotland. He announces that order and justice will be restored and he invites everyone to his coronation at Scone. So Malcolm also restores rightful titles to the nobles, symbolizing a return to peace and stability. So this scene completes Macbeth's tragic journey. Shakespeare shows that ambition built on deception and violence, it always leads to destruction. The witches' prophecies, they do come true, but in ways Macbeth never understood. So the play ends with justice restored, but only after immense suffering and loss. So there was a 10-mark question asked in boards. Do you think that Malcolm has the kingly qualities that Macbeth lacks? And along with that, there was an option. The minor characters in the play act as commentators to the events that unfold in Scotland. Discuss the statement with reference to the acts studied. If you want the answers for this, let me know in the comment section. So I hope you got an overall idea of all that happened in Act 5. If you have got any queries regarding this act or any of the acts, then you can comment below. I'll answer all of them. Or if you want a video on any of the important topics in Macbeth, let me know. Like, share and comment on the video. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye. Take care.